Good evening, church. Hope and pray you've had a good week thus far and that you continue to do so. It is Wednesday again, which means we get to continue our study in the book of Proverbs. Tonight, we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 6, and the goal is to go through the first 11 verses of chapter 6 this evening, and here it seems like that the proverb writer kind of takes a little bit of a turn. Still speaking to his son, if you will, but he's given him some practical advice here on a few subjects, and there's two specific subjects that we'll really look at here this evening in our study. So let's dive in. I invite you to turn your Bibles to Proverbs chapter 6, and we're going to begin in verse 1. Notice what it says. My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, have given your pledge for a stranger. If you are snared in the words of your mouth, caught in the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, and save yourself, for you have come into the hand of your neighbor. Go, hasten, and plead urgently with your neighbor. All right. It really seems like the proverb writer here is giving his son a hypothetical situation. Okay, something to look for, something to prepare against, if you will. And really, this advice, if nothing else, is kind of more financial advice. It's business advice, if you will. But it's something to keep him from heartache, something to keep him from stress, something to keep him, I think, from stumbling, giving Satan the opportunity for him to stumble. Here's the hypothetical as we see it here in the book of Proverbs. The hypothetical situation is the son is, how should we say this? I lost my words for just a second. They're coming back. I see them. They're coming back here. But really the thought here is that the son would be kind of like a co-signer on a loan for somebody else. Okay. If you have children, especially children that are old enough maybe to be going to college, old enough to be buying a house, old enough to be buying a car, have you ever had a child of yours come and say, hey, I could get this if you will co-sign the loan with me? Okay, so basically what the child is saying, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the collateral to do this or the credit to be able to get the loan that I need to get whatever I need. But if you will sign the loan with me, you do. And so then the bank or the business, whoever is giving the loan to the child for what they want, will allow me to buy this and allow me to make the payments and whatnot. And if you've ever been in that situation, your brain is just scrambling around like, oh my goodness, do I really want to do this? Is this a smart thing to do? Can I trust this child to work hard and to be dependable and to do what they should do? And it seems like here that in the book of Proverbs, the hypothetical is the son is in this situation. He has a neighbor that is needing something, but he needs the son to basically co-sign with him, to put up collateral for him so that he can get the loan with this third party. Okay? So, what happens if the neighbor reneges on his agreement? He doesn't come up with what he is supposed to. Well, then the responsibility becomes on the son. And so it seems like that the father here, the writer here, is saying to the son, if this happens, if you get caught in your words, in the words of your mouth, then go. Go to the creditor. Try to make a wiser deal, if you will. Then do this, my son, and save yourself, for you have come into the hand of your neighbor. Go, hasten, and plead urgently with your neighbor. Notice verse 4. Give your eyes no sleep, and your eyelids no slumber. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Okay, so the advice here is, if you do put yourself in this kind of situation, move quickly to remedy the situation, to fix the situation, to make it better, if you will. Don't give your eyes sleep. Don't give your eyelids any slumber. Notice how he compares him to a gazelle. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter. What does a gazelle do if he sees a hunter? Well, he sits there, he gets on his hind legs, and he says, shoot here. No, he doesn't do that. What does he do? And he runs off. And he tries to get to safety. He tries to get to where he will be protected from the hunter. And so the advice is the same for the son as well. Don't be a deer in headlights. No, don't be that. All right? Be ready. Be active. Move quickly. Do what you can to remedy the situation. Okay, good advice, I think, really for anyone. All right, moving on to verse 6 here. Changes the direction a little bit. The thought process is now on to some new advice for the son. Notice what he says, verse 6. He says, go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Okay, so really the advice that we're going to see here from verse 6 through 11 is, don't be lazy. Okay, don't be a sluggard. If you are a sluggard, if you are lazy, pay attention to the ant. Okay, my understanding is, in the ancient world, one of the ways they thought best to seek wisdom was to observe the world and things in the world. Okay, so basically God's creation. Okay, so if you're a sluggard and you need that wisdom, you need that motivation not to be that way anymore, go pay attention to the ant. Go watch the ant for a while. See what the ant does. Have you ever done that? I mean, have you ever really watched an ant before? Maybe you're having to sit outside waiting for somebody for something, and they're on the sidewalk. You notice, hey, look, there's some ants, and you just kind of notice what they do and how they go and whatnot, and what they're getting, and have you ever just pondered, like, how do they know? What are they doing? They just keep going and going and going, and they're so strong, and they can, carry so much more than their actual body weight and whatnot. But here's the proverb writer. He says, go to the ant, consider her ways, and be wise. Isn't that something to think about? Okay. Are you offended by this? Would you be offended by this if someone said this? Let's put it this way. What if someone, especially a teacher, was to say to you, okay, you need some wisdom. I want you to go watch that monkey over there for a while, and maybe you can learn something from the monkey. Would you be offended by that? Okay, are you saying that the monkey is smarter than I am? Are you saying that I'm so low that I have to learn from an animal? Okay, now take that a step further. Here's this ant. Okay, how much bigger is a human being than an ant? I don't know the percentage there, but it would have to be quite large. How many ants would it take to equal one of you? A lot. How big is the ant's brain? What is its capacity to learn and whatnot? Especially compared to you. And yet here is the proverb writing saying, go learn from the ant. Go consider her ways. Be wise by watching the ant. Okay, notice verse 7 though. Here's why you should watch. Here's why you should learn. Here's why you should become wise by watching the ant. Okay, verse 7, without having any chief officer or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in a harvest. Okay, what does the ant do? Well, first of all, if you ever notice, it doesn't seem like the ant ever has anybody that has given him or her directions and saying, wait, go over here. No, don't grab that. No, grab this instead. Hey, watch out for that human foot over there that's trying to step on you. Okay, it seems like an ant is very self-motivated. Okay, they don't have to be told, go do this, go do that. Oh, this needs to be done. Do we have any volunteers, anybody that can do this? No, it seems like they see it, they know it, they do it. And they go to work accomplishing that. And notice that they also prepare. Okay, they prepare for the hard times. She prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. So in the summer, she's gathering what is needed for the winter. Okay, she is gathering what is necessary to sustain life in hard times. Notice verse 9. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. Okay? I don't think that the proverb writer here is saying it is bad to rest. I am not saying, and I don't think that the proverb writer is saying here, okay, you really don't need sleep. Okay? Do without it, because sleep is for the lazy. All right? No, God has created us in such a way that we have to have sleep. Okay? Our bodies, our minds just don't function well if we are not able to get the sleep that we need. But He's also created us in such a way that we need rest. What did God do on the seventh day? He rested from His work. Why did He rest? Because He was so tired. It wore Him out. Whew! No, of course not. He's God. He didn't need rest, but He did it as an example for us. Okay? We do need rest. Okay? It is good for our bodies. It's good for our souls. But the sluggard is taking it to the extreme, it seems. Okay? Sleeping when he should be doing work. Folding his hands to rest when it's not needed. Okay, when there are things to be done that are necessary. And notice what he says in verse 11, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. How true is that for the sluggard, for the one who is lazy? Okay, I do want to share with you a little something on this section that Brother Stan Mitchell wrote in his book. And he compares this situation to the church. I don't know if you've ever really thought about that before in reading this portion of Proverbs, but I think it fits. Okay? This is what Brother Stan said. He says, how often in church work is nothing done because no one felt the compulsion to do more than point out congregational failures and take the initiative? Okay, how sad is that? But how often does that happen? That oftentimes in the church, people are easily to complain and point out things. Oh, look, that's not getting done. Oh, look, that needs to be done. Oh, look, somebody needs to be doing that. It's pretty easy to point fingers. But how easy is it to be like the ant and says, that needs to get done? Notice what Brother Stan says. He says, often church members will declare that something must be done rather than rolling up their sleeves and saying, I must do something. Ouch. It is easy to say, hey, look, that needs to get taken care of, or that needs to be dealt with, and somebody sure needs to do that. Maybe that's the deacon's job. Okay, well, deacons need to be taking care of that. Well, maybe it's the elder's job. So the elders need to get on that. Maybe it's the preacher's job. That preacher better get on that. What's he doing anyway? Maybe it's the youth minister's job. Maybe it's the secretary's job. Maybe it's any number of people's job, and it's easy to point and say, hey, look. But the point is why not be like the ant and say, I'm a member of the body. What can I do? How can I fix this problem? Instead of just saying, that needs to get done. Oh, over there too. No, don't just pile on work upon, a small percentage of people in the church. No, everybody needs to be using their talents. Everybody needs to be using their abilities. Okay, it's like the ants. If you ever notice, really, you don't just see one ant doing the work and the rest of them are sitting back going, okay, once you get done with that, go over there, take care of that over there too. Just going to sit here and get a tan for a while. No. Okay, what are they doing? They're working together. They're accomplishing what needs to be done together. They're doing things that one ant could not accomplish on his own. And it's the same way in the church as well. We are described as a body for a reason. A church doesn't function with just one person doing all the work. A church does not function with just 2 people or 5 people or 10 people doing all the work. I've heard the percentages before, and I've heard them something like this. 10% of the people in the church are doing the majority of the work, which means 90% are not. Some places I've heard 30% of the people are doing the work. 70% are not. Okay, what's the percentage in your congregation? What's the percentage like where you are at? Okay, everyone needs to do their part. And I think that's some of the advice that has been given to the son here. Okay, don't be a sluggard. Don't be one that sleeps when there's work to be done. Don't be one that has his hands on the back of his head and resting when you're supposed to be working. Okay? He's not saying don't sleep. He's not saying don't rest. Those things are necessary. Those things are from God. Those are biblical things. But don't overuse those things. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. I hope I made a little sense today, and what I'm hoping the proverb writer is getting across to us. I hope that y'all have a great week, that y'all are blessed beyond measure, and that y'all are staying cool. At least here in Panhandle, we've gotten some rain here recently, and so that's been nice, and God willing, we hope to get more soon. Have a blessed week, and God willing, we'll see you next week. God bless.